Hi.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing well. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm doing good. Man, it's crazy that I was just wrapping up work and I went on YouTube because I've been following they're like real estate agents, and so they do different videos on where like locations to buy homes. And then I seen a Houston versus Atlanta live, and I was like, "Oh, let me hop in there because that's
Oh,
kind of
thank
like
you.
what like literally like what I'm experiencing now." So I moved to Atlanta from Chicago in 2011.
Okay.
So I was in Atlanta for a little bit over 10 years. I moved to Houston, and then when I moved to Atlanta, when you move to Atlanta, you got to move to the Buckheads and the Sandy Springs, and that's where I was. I was working at Perimeter Mall at Nordstrom, so I lived right off Roswell Road. Then I moved to Atlantic Station, and then I started noticing like the further you go out, the further your money goes. So then I ended up in Stone Mountain, and then I moved here from Decatur. So I moved to Houston April of 2022. So it hasn't even been 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
so
moved after me. I moved February 2022, so you moved a little after.
February. Oh, yeah. So I mean, Houston's cool. Don't get me wrong. I love Houston. I love Atlanta. As you mean, you probably can tell. I'm a part of the LGBT community, so Atlanta, just right off the bat, is
We
more.
talked about that earlier in the live, and it's not like anything disrespectful or anything, but we can see why, like, certain people that would gravitate more to them. Like, it's more,
Mhm.
it more,
That community.
yeah, that community is stronger.
Yeah,
It's more,
it's more community, and like it's not even about like dating, because dating is trash like everywhere you go. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter your gender, your sexual, it none of that matters. It's just hard for everybody. So people think, oh, because you're in LGBT, you want to go there, or you want to move back to Atlanta to date. It's just more gay friendly. And I'm not saying that you experience like that. I've experienced any like negative things like in Houston, but it's not Atlanta. Like it's just that's all I can say. Like it's not Atlanta. And when you are of the culture and then you are of the LGBT community, like I mean, you just kind of get used to it. So from 11 and a half years being in the culture, being around people, just being comfortable walking into establishments. And again, I'm not saying that that doesn't happen in Houston, but it's just, I'm going to see transgender people. I'm used to it. Different bars and restaurants have gender neutral bathrooms. And then for me, I might not always want to use the women's bathroom. That doesn't negate that I'm a woman or anything like that. It's just that there are places in Atlanta, or more places in Atlanta, that allow me to feel comfortable. So that is one reason that's kind of high on my list, as far as like me just being comfortable in a space where anything can happen anywhere. There are people in Houston, there are people on the East Coast, West Coast that don't associate with gay people or the lifestyle. That's just is what it is. But Atlanta is that safe space for a lot of us. So that's first and foremost on my list. Second will have to be I had put in the chat for I'm an outdoorsy person, and Houston is so flat. Like there's
I said that it's flat. There's not a lot of hiking trails, and then talk about the weather. Also, it's so hot over the summer, so you can't even do anything up to like
yeah,
now. You know what I mean? Now you
like
can really say you're going out and like being outdoors. Like it was so hot this summer. Like it was crazy hot this summer. There's not a lot of
this
beaches.
summer I was inside majority of the summer. And it's just like, in Atlanta, the weather right now 60s, you'll get into the 70s, but it's not as hot. It does get hot in the summer, but being from the Midwest, I appreciate my four seasons. Maybe not the snow,
Right.
but then like my fall attire, I love putting on a hoodie and boots and stuff like that. And then when it rains, I appreciate a good snow, a good rainstorm without the power going out. So right now I'm in a very just grateful and like I'm just in a good place right now where I work remote. So prior to the pandemic, I was already working remote 2 days out of the week. Once the pandemic hit, I was able to move to full time remote work. So being in the inside the perimeter or outside the perimeter, or as they say in Atlanta or in Houston,
The loop.
whatever 610, the loop.
Mhm.
I don't mind being in the suburb or being, in the city. But I do think that, and this is just my opinion, I do think that Atlanta is geared more towards younger individuals. Both have Atlanta, of course, is lifestyle. It's the nightlife, it's the being seen. You got people wanting to be in movies and choreograph and like, do all of that. So you do get more of that in Atlanta. You have a better opportunity of getting put on, so to say, or just making those connections. If you're in music or TV, film, you have a better opportunity of doing that if you are in Atlanta versus being in Houston. I do think that Houston is a more family friendly city. Even though it's a city full of, not full of singles, but there's a lot of singles in Houston as well. I do think that Houston is more family. Atlanta, you got to be a little bit, not cautious. If you move to the suburbs, like if you move, and this is just off topic, but on topic, but if you move to like the northern parts of Atlanta, because we got to break it down as far as like Atlanta is still segregated when you think about it. And again, this is just my personal opinion. Atlanta is segregated because you have more of your Easterners or foreigner people that live in the Sandy Springs, Roswell area. And then you have like your more African American people that are on the east, or, like East Atlanta, your Decatur's, your Stone Mountains, your Lathonias. And then on the south side too, when you get to your Forest Parks and your Jonesboroughs, you'll have more of us. And then everybody else is kind of just sprinkled in there. But then if you move up north to your Cobb counties, you're going to have more family friendly places. But Atlanta itself, inside the perimeter, your downtown areas, living in the Lenox and the Buckheads, and like just those concentrated areas, you're going to see more younger people because it's the schools are there. You got what's the art school there? You got Morris Brown, your Clark Atlanta's in the city. You're going to just experience more natural people. I mean, younger people naturally. So that's just kind of like my opinion. So I know I'm rambling a little bit, but just right now, the place where I'm at, the determining factor to if I move back to Atlanta or do I want to stay in Houston, a huge part of that is just based off of I'm about to be 40 years old and I want to buy a home. Like I'm in the process of purchasing or looking for a home, not an apartment, not a condo or anything like that. I'm big on energy. So for me, any of my four walls to be connected to someone else, it just doesn't,
Tired
it
of that.
doesn't suffice me right now with my current lifestyle. So I want space. I want to be able to spread out and just have that. I don't mind mowing grass. I want a yard. I want to be able to plant flowers, maybe have a little garden, not a porch garden, not something that's hanging over my balcony. No, I want a designated space to be able to do those things. And that's just where I'm at in my life. And I feel like for what I can afford with my salary, Atlanta's going to be able to give me that, but I'm not going to be in the city. I'm looking in more of the suburbs, East Atlanta, so your Decatur's, Lithonia. I'm even looking into Snellville, and as far as going up to Lawrenceville, the price gets a little bit, more into your upper 300s or 400s going into the Lawrenceville, Snellville area. But I need that space. I need that space to be able to, if I want to beat on my bongos, or make a little bit of noise, I'm not bothering anybody because I'm in an apartment or a condo. And so that's just where I'm at right now. So when I look at even renting right now, so paying 1,400 for a 2 bedroom, 1.5 bath townhouse, I can actually rent a 3 bedroom, 2 bath home, like an actual house
Mhm.
in Atlanta.
With
So
that
that's
the
just,
same price?
say that again.
For the same price, you're saying? For
Yeah,
14?
but not in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah, the
So you're
suburb.
going
Yeah,
to be in your suburbs, and that's going to go into like your Dorovilles when you go up to like the Norcross area. It's a little bit north.
go
It's
across.
going to take you about 20-25 minutes to get to the city, but that's what you get for your money. So right now in Houston, I'm in the Garden Oaks area. I'm like 10 to 15 minutes from the Heights, which is not bad. It's not like super nice, but it's not a bad area either. It's just congested. And
Mhm.
like that's just my thing for me, like living inside of any city. And I think it goes just back to age and like what you're looking
What you're
for.
looking
If you
for,
want
right?
to be able to walk to your corner stores and, walk to the shops and, little places like that. Yeah, you want to live in the city and you get what you pay for. But I'm at a different point in my life where, like I said, I just want that extra space. I want to be able to park my car in my garage and just feel safe. My car did get broken into. I seen somebody put that in a chat.
They take your
Um,
tires, or they just broke into the car?
no, they broke in my side window, but there was nothing in there. Like they couldn't take anything. But those are things that you have to when you move to any city. It doesn't matter if it's Houston or Atlanta. You just have to. That's just what comes along with the city. When you have nice things, that's what
Right.
happens. You know what I mean? It's not anybody. It's not anybody's fault. It's not my fault. I mean, it is their fault. But you have to think about stuff like that. So when you are in a city and you have nice possessions, there are people that don't have things and they're going to want to take those from you. So, do you want to live in a congested area where you're parking next to whoever? You know what I mean? Like you're parking that you don't have eyes on your things. You don't have eyes on your home unless you have like a Ring camera or something like that. It's just things to think about at your stage in life that you're in. So if you want to experience the nightlife and you don't care if you don't have a vehicle and you want to walk, yeah, move to a downtown area.
Right.
Move to an area that's
Trade off.
yeah, a little bit more concentrated. You can hop on the train. You can, take, Ubers and Lyfts and all of that. But if you're a little bit older and you want a little bit more peace and privacy and, garages and things like that, the suburbs in any city, I think would be nice. Even looking here, some of the homes in Humble, and
Oh,
Katie's nice too. I really like Katie. I can't afford Katie. So, you know what I mean? But then I think you had mentioned it earlier. The
mhm.
further you go out, if you do a lot of activities inside the city, or if you work in like the medical district, that is a long drive. You know what
Right.
I mean? To be able to, that's like a 35, 45 minute, and depending on how traffic, and we know accidents can happen at any
Houston
time,
traffic is bad.
you looking at an hour to hour and a half commute either way to get where you want to go. So I just say like to anybody that's looking to move. And I can't see comments if anybody had any questions for me, just comparing the two. 2 years in Houston, about 11, go on, yeah, a little over 11 in Atlanta. If they had any questions that they wanted to ask, I'm definitely open to answering any type of questions because I'm just rambling right now.
Okay, so yes, guest vibes. Let's see if anyone has any questions. But thanks so much, Chico. This was really helpful. You're in a Houston zip code, correct? So you actually are in
Yes.
Houston. Okay.
I'm in 77092 is
Okay.
so yeah, when I first moved here, I was in the Galleria area. I really like the area, but again, high concentration. I felt like it was like a college, like my apartments, it was all young people. I mean, partying, and it's nothing wrong with that if you want that.
Right.
But it was like with me just getting down here, it was like, yeah, like let's do this. I was able to walk to like, some of the nice the clubs that people go to. So I was able to walk to camp,
Oh,
Prospect
okay.
Park. I was right there
Okay.
by Nomad. Like I literally like I just
They're
left
all
my
next to each
car there. I
other.
was able to walk. Yeah, but you can just get to a point in your life again when you
That's
turn
not what
40.
you're worried about. You're not worried about Prospect Park and Nomad and yeah, yeah.
Yes, Haven said Lawrenceville is much more affordable, but 45 minutes from the city. I've
Yeah.
been looking at for homes in Atlanta, Brookhaven, Johns Creek are expensive, but I found affordable homes in Decatur and Douglasville.
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head right there. Those Brookhaven, Johns Creek area, beautiful, clean. You don't have to worry about, in my opinion, the theft and like guarding yourself as much. You do get a more mixture of other cultures. And I'm just being honest. In the northern areas, you will have Asian and Hispanic neighbors that are, IT engineers and stuff like that. You'll get those moving into those areas. But the Decatur and Douglasville area, it's going to be a mixture and it's going to be a little bit more affordable in my opinion. So if you're buying something in the Decatur Doraville area, and you can go on to your I'm on Redfin right now. I've been looking at Redfin, and I don't think I have it pulled up. Trulia, it's two of the sites that I've been looking in to purchase. You can purchase something Depending on what you want, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, mid 250 to upper 250 in the Decatur Douglasville.
That's very good for a
Mhm.
single person. I feel like I mean, it obviously depends on your salary, but I just think of 200s being a good range for like a
Yeah,
single person by yourself. Like paying all those bills by yourself. I would think like 200s is what
200
people would want to be in.
200 is a good starting point, but then like if just keep in mind the further out you go, and this is just, me from an Atlanta perspective, right? So the further out you go east, so you have your Decaturs, your Stone Mountains, your Lathonias, even going into Conyers and Covington, those aren't bad areas. They're really nice areas. It's like I say it's old black money. So it's really like older people, like older black people that are established. They own their homes, they have land. Like those are the areas where you're not going to get a lot of younger people. But if you just want to settle down a little bit and you can get something for 300, you can get something for 325. It might be a little fixer upper. You might have to put in, but then your equity of your home goes up if you put in a little bit more work. So it's all about where you're at in life and what you want to do. If you want something more turnkey where you don't have to put a lot of work in, you're going to be about 350 to 400 to get something you don't have to do anything to. Again, it just depends on how much work you want to put in, how much you want to invest in. Where is Haven at? Is she in Atlanta or is she in
Charlotte.
Houston?
She's in Charlotte, North Carolina.
She just moved to Charlotte.
Oh, okay, got you, got you. Charlotte's nice though.
Yeah, I'm in Charlotte. I love Charlotte. Jared says, seems like everybody is an influencer in Atlanta. Like it would be hard to connect with people on a deeper level. Everything is surface level. Y'all let me know.
Do y'all want to answer that question? Because I could go on and on about that.
I've never lived in Atlanta, so I really wouldn't know. But I can get what he's saying.
It's a lifestyle. It seems like there's a certain lifestyle that some people may be trying to keep up with because of the
Mhm.
entertainment and because there's so many things there and because there's a lot of money in Atlanta,
Yeah.
for the most part. So I can see where this comment is coming from.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Jared 100%. I think Atlanta is just like the name Atlanta. It's like, oh, I live there or I work on this and I do this. My personal experience with Atlanta, I'm not gonna go too much into it. I did do background and stage setup for a couple of the reality shows, and the things that I seen, you have to be very, very strong minded. So you have to know who you are and you have to be able to say no. It is very easily influenced. You can be easily influenced living in Atlanta if you don't know yourself. So you do have to have stern boundaries. You do have to just say no, like I'm not interested in that, or that's not something that I partake in, because you're gonna see everything. And as far as like a lot of influencers, I see a lot of YouTube influencers, Atlanta this, Atlanta that, Atlanta this, and it's smoke and mirrors. Like I tell that to anybody that I come in contact with, especially like the younger generation. So I hate to sound like I'm old, but I'm gonna say anybody like under the age of 25. It's so easy to get caught up in that. Oh, I'm gonna go to Atlanta. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do this. Atlanta, you have to have a side hustle for your side hustle for your side hustle. So you have to have, you can have your regular 9 to 5, but in order to make it and be able to maintain it, I'm a single individual, right? And I do work for a corporate company, but I still have a side hustle and looking for another one on top of that, with the intent that you never know what's going to happen. And then it's Atlanta, right? So, you want your hair done, you want to have the nicest car, you want to live in a nice neighborhood. And that's just me as a person. That's not because I want to compare myself to anybody, but it is a lifestyle. So going just back to Jared's comment, it is a lot of influencers, but there are also a lot of people there that are easily influenced to allow those influencers to influence them. But if you go with the mindset that you're going to just be who you are and not be influenced, you can make it there. But you have to have, and being a part of the LGBT community, people don't necessarily agree with it. You do have to have some type of spirit. I'm not going to say religious, but you have to have some type of spiritual upbringing to hold yourself accountable, because it's easy to get caught up in the nightlife. It's easy to get caught up in just being out and being seen,
Being
and
outside.
yeah, just being just influenced. It's just very easy. Yeah, Atlanta has a lot of fake people, fake famous
Fake
people.
famous people or people that claim to know people.
Yeah, and you got the bandwagon people. It's hard to go to Atlanta and just like do your own thing sometimes. Like sometimes people, because you have to think about it like this. It's like if you can't beat them, join them. So
Right.
the people in Atlanta, they're established. And you just think about, like the people on your TV shows, your Love and Hip Hops and, your housewives and like all that. Those people don't care what you got or what you bring into the table. They have their friends. They're from Atlanta. If you think about a lot of artists that have been in Atlanta or grew up in Atlanta, they're established already. So they have their friends set. They're set friends. But when you come there like, oh, hey, listen to my music or I want to be on your show, they looking at you like, who are you? You know what I mean? But then you really have to. It's like I said, it's kind of like that. If you can't beat them, join them. So you have a lot of people that will fake pretend like they have the fake jewelry or oh I know this person or I'm friends with such and such and they're not really friends with them. It's just the image that they have to portray so that they can get in just certain groups. And Atlanta's very cliquey. That's just a given. I feel like anybody that has lived there longer than 2 years, I'm gonna say anybody that has lived in Atlanta prior to 2015 can attest to that. The new people that's moving to Atlanta, they're either one trying to be one of those influencers, or they're just the people that's just like, yo, hey, I live here and it is what it is. I know a lot of older people, and when I say older people, I'm gonna say 35 and older. They live in Atlanta or in the suburbs of Atlanta because Atlanta is a hub for tech, depending on what kind of company you work for, airlines, Coca-Cola. I know a lot of people that work in those industries, but if it wasn't for work, I don't think that they would live in Atlanta. So they're not as easily influenced in the nightlife perspective. They're kind of like, shopping, doing a little here and there. They don't really care about nightlife. It's more like, oh, I'm going hiking on the weekends. We might do a little bit of brunch. Otherwise, I'm chilling at the
Right,
house.
it's about what you want. This conversation has been extremely helpful. From the information you guys have provided, it gives me something to think about. Now I'm leaning away from Houston and towards Atlanta. Okay.
No, thanks so much, Chico, for your time. We're getting ready to round up, but thanks
Okay,
for
yeah, for
joining.
sure.
Make sure you watch, you subscribe, and we have a Houston playlist. So if you can just check out some of those videos, just so you can see some of our content about Houston, that would be helpful. But thank you so much for your
Yeah,
time.
thanks for having me. Y'all have a good one.
You
Problem.
too. Bye
Good
bye.
night.
All
Okay.
right, this was great. We got
Yes,
to talk to.
Atlanta is a lot of pressure when you step out. You got to be on point head to toe. Is Houston like that too? No, Houston is slow compared to Atlanta. Houston is
Don't
more
say
aggressive.
that. I don't think that that's not
Well,
true.
thank you, Haven, for the
We
super
have to go through
chat.
the comments real quick, y'all. I gotta get dinner. I gotta make dinner. I'm getting hungry, but let me see
I
what we.
went through most of them. Chimobi said, Haven, check out Doraville and Smyrna. Petra had mentioned Smyrna earlier as well. Most of it I went through. Evie, I want to talk about this. The family friendly description makes sense for Houston. No wonder why married men are acting like single men.
Um,
Okay, there's a lot of
People were
comments.
talking about meetup. Look, okay, let me go back a bit. This is a walk of this. Okay, I meet people at a club, bar, on the Meetup app. She said, "I live in Charlotte, but consider moving to Houston or Atlanta. What type of people you're trying to meet? A lot of people. Yeah, Meetup. Meetup is a good app. I have that. Butterfly Dream said, "Would you guys ever move back to Jersey?" We mentioned that earlier. I will move back to Jersey, but I would need to be married.
Mm.
That's what I personally feel like. I could live in New Jersey. My family's from there. I grew up there. We don't pump gas. We don't pay tax on clothes. We have good food. Four seasons. I don't like the snow, but I have money. I'll have money by then, so I could put on my my heat as high as I want.
Butterfly Dreams, you asked about the hair. You're not going to be able to see this too far away, but this is her Instagram if you want to get it. JADORENEMEA. I was trying to type it in the chat. I guess I could type it in the chat, plug her in, let
Yeah,
me.
let her know that I sent you, so she can get that next week some discount off. But yeah, I would move back to Jersey, but no time. I don't see myself moving back unless it's like family, something happened, God forbid. God, but I don't see myself moving back to Jersey anytime soon. Yes, I think the only man watching this live, Zach Galano. There's other men in here, Zach. Female point of view, you have to be able to attract people your way rather than your looks, style, energy. Native Houston watching. Okay, Big Nick. So we need a Houstonian to share their side. Oh my gosh, quick! You're gonna be like 5 minutes. But if someone from Houston has lived in Atlanta as well, or yeah, but I don't know if we have anyone else. But trying to get this comment. Atlanta's Duke City, but I've never been to Houston. Really, Shimobi? How you never been to Houston? You Nigerian? How old are you? No, you gotta come. You playing? Have you been to Texas at all? Chimobi, you're from Chicago too. What's your favorite? We need to chat. I'm torn between Houston and ATL, and I'm gay as well, so I can use your insight. Oh, hey, okay, that makes then yeah, like what our caller mentioned, and it's her being real. Like I said, us talk is not necessarily. I feel like some people look like you're being offended. Like no, it's being real. Like people are going to go to where they feel comfortable.
It's like why Nigerians move to Houston.
Right. They get the weather. They feel like they're still in Nigeria. Right. They get that. They don't have to worry about. I say that I ask them about that all the time. How did you ever adjust to this cold in New Jersey? I'm born and raised here. I haven't adjusted. People say all the time, "Oh, you lived in America your whole life. You're still worried about cold." I don't like cold. I can't imagine coming from somewhere that doesn't get past 60 degrees and coming to live in freaking like Boston. Like you have to be real. Like you go to where it has what you're looking for.
Late.
Right. I worry a lot about Houston not being gay friendly. I want to feel comfortable where I live. Honestly, a lot of people talk about Montrose being very gay friendly and the Heights. So there are neighborhoods that are, and you mentioned Montrose is one of the areas you're really into. Montrose and the Heights are known for being very gay friendly. So we do have the neighborhoods per se, but of course it's not going to be on the level as Atlanta, right? Like I'm not going to sit here and act like it is because it isn't. But like there are some. The mayor of is the mayor? No, they.
Do you feel as if Charlotte is gay friendly? Because I've noticed I feel as if I see a lot of I feel like I see a lot of gay women in Charlotte. A lot. Like I've been noticing it more and more often these days. So I'm just curious to know if you consider Charlotte to be gay friendly.
Houston, we grew up together and being known each other since kids. Students are hard with letting new people in. That makes sense. I'm just finding a home versus a house. Whoo. It feels cool catching reading everybody comments. I got to go now. Yeah, did it on your obulan na umuibo nke onye na yeah gazi. I don't this gazi. I don't know what gazi means, but that bye. Catch you phone. Okay, let's go. Honestly, forget. I can't imagine Houston being as friendly as ATL to the culture. Hopefully, Sony can chime in on gay culture, but I've been told they're more conservative. Yeah, but it's still here. Trust me. But of course, it's not. It's not on Atlanta's level. Always thought Houston was gay friendly. Let me see. Katie's where I live. Houston's the biggest of all cities. Let's see. These are the last day. Oh, yeah. People. Yeah. I'm from. But I live in Katy. Let's see. The thing about Houston is so big that people from North Side might literally never been to the South, so you just got to move around. Yes, they say you could be in a long distance relationship with someone in Houston, and I believe it. Um, Haven, I like your approach of visiting multiple times before choosing. I always say at least visit once. I meet people that they've never even visited the city and they move to it. I don't know how people do that because there's so much you learn from just going there and like experiencing it. Like you said, even going to different areas and catching the vibe. Oh my God, I'm hour 40 minutes. Jersey, yes, Jersey stand up. It seems like ATL has a lot of pressure. Okay, we read that. Okay, we have a lot of comments trying to get through the. Thank you, Chins, for another vlog. No, you're welcome, Hanif. It's not easy, an hour 40 minutes. Thank you guys so much. People really like this topic. We have a lot of. I think this is live. The most people we had attend. We hit up to like 50 something at a point. So appreciate you guys joining. So we have a really big Nigerian community in Houston. Yes, we do, Big Nick. I just want to meet non-Nigerian African men in Houston just to spice it up. I'm tired.
Can you move? Go tell your Kenya men to come outside. Tell them.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. They're here.
Miss Mermaid, you're the one that's lived like in Paris, right? And I know you're in Charlotte with me too, but you say you don't really go out much. Mia's telling us to go to Noda 101 in the district. Noda 101 still on my list. You know what? This weekend, enough is enough. Enough is enough. But by the time y'all see me next Tuesday, I'm gonna tell y'all that I went to Noda 101. You meet a lot of people. Yes. Phyllis said regarding affordability, GA has state income taxes where Texas is not. So wouldn't that make the lower home prices in Atlanta about the same as Houston, Texas? Granted, property tax in Texas are a bit higher. Yeah, we talked about that a bit earlier. Talked about that early.
ATL is still the South. Once you leave ATL Metro, it's not progressive at all. Yup. And people forget that same thing, kind of like Houston. Like people, you go to this place. I told you I was in the mall and I heard these white women there acting like, yo, they sound really country. Like you forget because you're in the city and everyone is from everywhere. Number one, so you have a mix of people from everywhere. So you don't really get like that southern vibe. But when you drive like an hour out, you're like, oh yeah, I'm in Texas. Oh yeah, I'm in Houston. I'm in Georgia. Oh, this was really fun, you guys. Maybe we'll do a part 2. Let us know other 2 cities you guys want us to compare. It has, of course, been somewhere that
you know what's coming up next Tuesday. We already know what's going to come up next Tuesday.
We really enjoyed it. It was fun, interactive, an hour, 40 minutes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe time just flies by. How do we sit here and talk for that long? But make sure you guys like this video. So it hits the algorithm. You see how people found this. Chico found this from the algorithm. People don't understand when we tell you guys to like. It's very important because that's how it gets pushed out into YouTube and suggested, and people are able to see it and join. So make sure you guys like this video. Thank you guys all who have given a super chat. We appreciate it. There's a lot of conversation still.
Yeah, it looks like we all going to know the one-on-one this weekend. What do y'all say? Song and Culture, Miss Mermaid. Haven says she likes Know the one-on-one. Mia's one that's been recommending it forever. But
you said, where are we going this weekend? Where are we going this weekend? It's not only Charlotte.
You know where you and Evie going.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
To go see her Kenyan man that she's not finding. Take her to go find the Kenyan man. She said,
I've never been to Texas. Great stream, Nnena and Ngozi. Y'all shouldn't forget to hit the like button. Yes, everyone. Thank you so much. You also hit the super chat, super chat, either or, but at least like this video. We appreciate you guys so much for sticking through, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday with another juicy video.
This is for Beautiful Butterfly, the one that asks about the wigs before we leave. This is the lady. Salt and Culture. If you're serious, DM me. Who else? Miss Mermaid. It looks like Miss Mermaid. Are we going to another one-on-one this weekend? Let me know the move because yes, let's have a Charlotte.
People, where are we going? It's not only Charlotte. Houston people, where are we going?
Jealous. You have Evie. Stop being jealous. Okay, some of my subscribers are trying to turn up. Stop being jealous. Y'all can do that another time. So let me know. Hit me up on Instagram if you're really going to try out this another one-on-one because I realized just like you, Miss Mermaid. Yes, Charlotte meetup. I can relate to your last comment. Girls have been on my list forever. I'm so lazy with my social life here, but I wouldn't mind more close friends locally. I'm not gonna lie. Over the past year, I've gotten really lazy and comfortable living in Charlotte, North Carolina. Very, very comfortable. And I feel like I do need to go out of my comfort zone more. So it would be nice to just have a group of people just to do things with, try out new things. Because I'm the type of person, I'm down, but I also kind of need a push. For anyone that's close to me, I'm the down person, but these days someone kind of has to drag me. I'm not bragging about that, but I can easily stay home, easily. But when we go, I'm like, okay.
You've been in Charlotte for a while. It's not new to you.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, right? It's very, very familiar. Very, very familiar. So yes, thank you guys so much
for Instagram. That's your Instagram, right? I just put up our Instagram. People are asking for our Instagram. Make sure you follow us. We're trying to be more active with content regarding Charlotte and Atlanta. I said Charlotte, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Houston. Mia say I need a Facebook. I have Facebook, but I barely use it. I'll be honest. Facebook is not my thing. I feel like it's more for older people and foreigners. It's just and people get very nasty on Facebook. But Instagram is where if you want to contact me, Instagram. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, Instagram. Haven said I can drag you to Mad Miles. I go to Mad Miles. I went last Tuesday. It was freezing and it gets dark early now. But FYI, we did the poll. We're gonna move the lives to Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. for now. Sundays did win in the vote. Obviously, that is a better day. But for now, we're just gonna keep it on Tuesdays. Maybe eventually we'll go back to the weekends just because Mondays are rough. And then Tuesday, I feel like there's nothing going on, nothing to do by then. The weekend, whatever, you've recovered, gotten yourself together. I like this Tuesday night vibe. I don't know. For some reason, I just like it better. I just won't make Mad Miles on Tuesdays. I'll try I've never been to Mad Miles on a Saturday. So maybe I'll try that actually this Saturday, Mad Miles on the Saturday. But again.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.